Hello, mabuhay, Immaculadas! I am Marco Bueno, a grade 12 Humanities and Social Science student.
Hello, Immaculadas. I am Gabriel Anthony Lagura, a grade 11 student from the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, or STEM Strand.
Hello, Uic-Shs! I am Luis Durian Estradaje from the Accountancy, Business, and Management Strand.
So, a common misconception in our strand is that HUMSS is an easy strand, which all I can say is it is not.
What about you?
Well, for STEM, a common misconception is like yung mga STEM students, puros ACADS lang yung kinaatupag nila. There's nothing else that they do. And like, it's not that kind of perspective to look at STEM students because just like other students in a senior high school strand, we also have other kinds of activities. STEM students, we're more academically inclined, but that doesn't mean we're less active in our physical and other aspects of our lives.
That's why may specialized tayo, right?
Yes. Well, for me, for the ABM strand, the most common misconception is that it is mostly about mathematical computations. Actually, that was the reason why I had double thoughts on choosing this strand because I'm not that mathematically inclined. However, along the way, I have realized that ABM is also about analyzing things and also about being a good entrepreneur and a businessman.
So, convince me daw. What if you have a product? Can you convince me?
With the product, we actually have a specialized subject, which is the principles of marketing, and it showcases how to market your product and also influence the target market to choose your product. I have a product and I will also offer you a loyalty card so that every product you will buy, you will have a 50% discount.
Okay. Sold.
How about you, Kuya Marco? Like, you're from HUMSS, diba? So, what if you're planning to run for a position in our local government? What would you want to say?
All I can say is vote for me. But all jokes aside, HUMSS student, when it comes to, yes, thank you for bringing that up, politics. We have politics and governance. And as my teacher said, what is HUMSS if we do not have politics?
Yes.
I do believe that politics is a heart of the HUMSS strand. Because of that, we are given comprehensible materials about the Philippines and its politics, the history of politics. All I can say about other strands is that there are times that I kinda envy their subjects. I also want to take what they are taking in their strand. But then again, I really like other strands. But my heart is for the HUMSS talaga. So, I view other strands as not an enemy, but as a friend, of course. Because if you combine all the strands, we make up the world.
What I think about the other strands, I think you guys are really chill. I like the way you pursue different kinds of subjects. Like, as a STEM student, I'm also kind of interested on how you do your work in other subjects. Like for HUMSS, you have your creative writing, and for ABM, you have your principles of marketing. So I'm very much interested because as a STEM student, we're like very doused on a lot of mathematical and scientific components that it kind of gets overwhelming at times. So it's like we want to also take a look into looking into the creative side of ourselves, and that's like something that really shines in your strand. Like, you're really more expressive in the kinds of literature or business principles that you want to express to the world. And for that, it's really amazing to see how creative a human person can be. But at the end of the day, STEM is really a great strand for us.
I believe all strands are great strands.
Yes, that's correct.
So for me, I think that the other strands are truly interesting because, fun fact, I actually thought of choosing HUMSS first before ABM because politics and also public speaking really piqued my interest. And also for the TVL, it really amazed me how they're able to code and also input all the other technological stuffs into computers. And it's really confusing, right, for us if you're not in TVL. And for that, it made me realize that there is really no dominant strand among all the other strands, and all of us, all the other strands, have their different expertise, the different skills, and also different techniques that we should learn on.
Challenges.
Yes.
I think I'm speaking on behalf of all of us that UIC gives us comprehensive curriculum-based materials when it comes to our subjects. They give us quality education.
Also with that, I think that UIC helps us to understand the topics by providing really competent teachers, right? Who are masters of their fields. Because every time you would have a confusion or we won't understand the topic, our teachers really are there to lend a helping hand.
In addition to that, we also have a bunch of materials that are sourced from different kinds of international and nationally recognized organizations that cater to a wide variety of subjects. And sometimes even those teachings from these different subjects, they extend beyond the textbook and allow us to learn through real-life demonstrations and sometimes even activities that are held within and outside the school.
My favorite subject for my strand is definitely politics and governance. As I said, politics and governance is the heart of the HUMSS strand. Without it, sino kami?
True.
Basically, that subject talks about politics and governance. Not just in the Philippines, but also politics in general. But also, it focuses more on the politics and the history of politics here in the Philippines. When it comes to trivias, are you ready for my trivia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you know that the cause of the dispute over the West Philippine Sea is about rocks?
Rocks.
Why?
Why?
Mag-HUMSS kayo to find out.
I really.
Sige.
What's it like being a HUMSS student, like learning about politics?
At first, I was confused
Yes.
with the strand because actually I was about to be an ABM student.
Oh.
Because business is one of the
Okay.
things that I want. But when I entered HUMSS strand, I wasn't doubtful at all. I was sure that I am going to be a HUMSS student. And about my thoughts as a HUMSS student, all I can say it's fun. It's fun. I'm not just learning about politics, but also literature as well.
Yes.
Literature. Did you know that a couplet is a 2-line stanza?
Really?
What about a 5-line stanza?
5 left.
That's actually a cinquain.
Wow.
So what about you? What about the things
In
that is
ABM?
happening in ABM?
So if I were to choose one specialized subject in ABM, it would be business finance. Because for me, as a person, I really have trouble in managing my finances. I am affected by many factors like irrational behavior, like Shopee and Lazada.
Same.
Oh my God.
And really, and also influences from friends like bumili ka nito, bumili ka niyan. Oh my God, I am easily influenced. And with business finance, it helped me realize that managing your finances is truly essential to build a bright future for yourself, right? And also, one trivia that I have in mind is, did you know that managing your finances has different steps? Also, it's like research. You have to analyze your data and also interpret your data and provide an implementation for managing finances.
That's
Okay.
really interesting.
What about you?
Well, in the STEM strand, we have like really complicated subjects,
Yes.
but
I
but
can
it doesn't
tell.
mean that we can't do it. And one of those subjects involves basic calculus. So like in basic calculus, we look into the behaviors of a lot of functions. Like, you know what a function is? 3x plus
oh my
5. Like in functions, we have these certain things that we look into. We have properties of limits, things like continuity and their derivatives. So in basic calculus, we basically look into a value of a certain limit as a certain variable approaches a certain number. So at first, it may really seem so overwhelming because we have a lot of different jargon, like
Yes.
what is lim, like what is continuity, what is this graph supposed to mean. But basic calculus, as the subject implies, teaches us the basics of what is the foundations that are found in calculus. So I guess that's one really interesting feature about this subject. And did you know
Oh my
that
Oh.
did you know that if your graph has a certain hole in its line, like we call that hole a removable discontinuity, because that means that the function corresponding to that graph, we can rewrite it to make it continuous again. So it's like trying to clear a blockage in a certain canal. You know?
Akala ko hole sa paper.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
God.
I think our strands has their own challenges, has their own beauty.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're just students trying to make it into this thing we call the world and
Yes.
navigating
We're just-
ourselves to what challenges real life
Of
may
course.
provide to us.
We're just students trying to build a better future.
A better world.
With you,
Oh.
I see.
So like one memorable experience I had as a SEM student is like we have this subject like we call it robotics, where it like teaches us the different kinds of circuits, LEDs, all those kinds of techie stuff, and we work with codes as well, but like just the basics because it is a part of the technology sector of our Strand. There was this one time an activity we had in robotics wherein we had to implement code to a certain device. Like I think it was a sensor, a motion sensor, and then like we had trouble at first because we were so confused at which pins to
Yeah.
place, like because somehow the sensor didn't have any label, so we were like, where do we place this? Saan ito ilagay? And like after like what, it was like 10 tries of trying to rearrange
It
all the
must be
pins.
so confusing,
Yes.
It's
no?
literally confusing, and after 10 tries of rearranging the pins, all the wires, and then placing in the code, we just moved one bit, and then the moment we moved, it sensed the motion, and then it started to work. And we were like, oh my gosh, it finally worked! And then we just did all this, sensing all the motion, you must sense this, and then it worked so much.
So yeah, basically like one mistake can really
Change,
create
yeah.
a very huge problem for you guys.
Yeah, that's the beauty of robotics. If you get it wrong, just look at where you got wrong and then just
Oh
fix
my
it. That's robotics for you.
Yeah.
Just fix it.
Wow. So what about you, Louis?
Well, one memorable experience would be the Entrep Day because the Entrep Day is more aligned on the topics of ABM and also it helped us start out a business plan. And you know, starting out a business makes you feel like, oh, ganito pala feeling magka-small business, and also talk to the different group mates about your ideas and also brainstorm about the different products that you want to propose. And with that, through the Entrep Day, it made me realize na ABM truly is for me. What about you, Marco?
What about me? Our performance task is a debate.
Ooh,
A debate.
wow.
And to be honest, to be frank, it's my first time
Yes.
in engaging in that kind of activity. And of course, I really want to try it out for myself. So I volunteered as a speaker because we were divided into groups. Yeah, we were divided into groups, and you know, there will be the speakers and of course the researchers,
Yes.
the people that will help you out in your arguments. All I can say is that that experience was fun. I recall that we were called, our group was called
Wow.
to now proceed in front, to sit on the chairs in front. And kinakabahan ako. I was out of my mind. I was really anxious about what my arguments would be and what the rebuttals of the opposition would be. So I was scared. But when we started, we gave our arguments. We asked questions to the other group, and it wasn't as scary as I thought.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just like speaking actually. It's just like speaking. When you are there in front, you are acting with fear.
As long as you're prepared,
But as long as you're prepared, you will be all right.
Yes.
So yeah, back to the performance act, to the debate. It was an Oxford style debate. Yeah, that debate was fun, and I really want to try it out again.
Wow.
Yes, I actually learned a lot, especially from the perspective of my fellow STEM student and also my fellow ABM student. Of course, I already know that the different strands, aside from HUMSS, already have their own challenges. But in this episode, parang na confirm ko talaga na we have, we have our differences. But that doesn't mean that enemies tayo.
True.
Tama.
We're not enemies, of course. We are stepping on the same ground and we are learning. And we have the common goal to achieve a good future. So parang, yeah, that is all I can say.
I really have the same sentiments with you, Rhea, kasi yeah, we're all just students. We have different strands. We may have different kinds of experiences, but at the end of the day, we have one goal: to change the world. We have our certain interests. We have the
Yeah.
different kinds of skills that we are strong in, and because of that, that is why we have these strands. That is the very purpose of these strands, to cater to those interests, those kinds of strengths that we have as a student, whether it may be in English, or maybe in math, science, business, all those kinds of different aspects that are also found in our real world. So at the end of the day, we're basically just trying to cement our role as citizens in the world that we live in.
Wow.
Spoken like a true STEM student.
Wow. For me, at the end of the day, I realized because of this episode that all of us truly are unique, and all these strands are preparatory stages, right, for us to be equipped when we reach college. And also, these strands encompasses a personality trait of ours. Like for Marco, being a HUMSS student, he likes public speaking and also debates. And for me, I realized that business and accountancy truly is the right track for me. And also for Gab, we have realized that he truly is our STEM king, right?
Exactly. As UICians, because of UIC, I truly believe that we are ready for college.
Wow.
All I can say is, magkita tayo in the future.
Yes.
Yeah, magkita tayo in the future and you will sell me something.
Yes.
Oh.
And you will be the president of the Philippines.
Yes! And for you, let us say, ikaw ang mag-build para sa robot.
Wow.
In the
Or baka
future.
naman, I will build the building of this business
Wow.
and this office.
Yeah, once again, I am Marco Bueno from the grade 12 Strand.
I am Luis Jerian Estradaje from the grade 12 ABM Strand.
And I am Gabriel Anthony Lagura from grade 11, the STEM Strand.
And we are from
The University of the Immaculate Conception.
Bye.